And it looks like we have Fez now. Trixie, I believe you're taking over as host for me.
I am. Thank you so much for filling in for 1980X.
Oh, sure thing. Now go enjoy some Fez. I love this game.
Perfect. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. I am your host, Trixie Fox, and you're watching Fastest First for Life 2019, benefiting the Children's Miracle Network Hospital through Extra Life. 100% of the funds collected through Extra Life directly benefit one of the 170 Children's Miracle Network hospitals across the US and Canada. Donations are used for the most immediate needs facing local kids, everything from patient programs, new equipment, and charitable care. To make a donation or to learn more about how you can help, click on that donate button below the stream window or type exclamation point donate in the chat. So we're going to jump right on into this, and I am here with your speedrunner Pi.
Hi.
So, hi Pi. You're going.
Yeah, no, I haven't started the run. I'm just
Oh,
warming up.
okay, perfect.
Oh, we're
Uh,
ready to go whenever you guys are.
all right, sounds good. So yeah, this is Fez. It's a 2D platformer in 3 dimensions, which leads to some interesting tricks. But let's start the run in 3, 2, 1, go. Conveniently, the devs in the most recent and final update to the game gave us a speedrun mode, and so that's the timer you see in the top right. That will keep track of everything, all the cubes that I'm picking up, and we actually use, but we don't actually use that to time runs. We have an auto split setup. So like I said, this is a 2D platformer, but it's in 3 dimensions, and so the trick to that is you can rotate so that you can look at one of 4 different views for any screen that you're on. We don't get that power, however, until we receive the Fez, which we have to go through some cutscenes to get to. So yeah, actually, it starts out with some cutscenes if you want to read donations.
I'm actually going to read some of the incentives that we have going
Ah,
on.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a couple different incentives that we have going on. One of them being um, the naming for characters in Final Fantasy IV. There's also options for file names for Zelda. So there's a lot of cool things to check out. So check out the bid wars and the naming wars that are going on.
Cool, cool. So someone asked in chat what their rules are for any percent. There is a puzzle in this game, so it's a puzzle platformer. Half of the cubes we'll be getting are puzzles, and half of them are platforming. The puzzles are all called anti-cubes, and the platforming are all the golden cubes. Most of the cubes we'll be getting in this run are anti-cubes because we already know the solutions to the puzzles, so they're very easy to solve. It's quite easy when you have a cheat sheet. But the question was about computer clock changing, and so there's actually some cubes that only appear every period of time in real time based on your computer clock. In 100%, you can manipulate your computer clock to get those cubes, but in any percent, we don't allow getting those cubes. So you'll see I crashed the game there. That happens a couple times in this run, but we try not to worry about it. And so now that we have the Fez, we have the power to shift the world and rotate it so that we can solve puzzles, climb platforms, and manipulate our position to go a lot faster than I think they wanted us to. The main thing to know about rotating the world is that the game always tries to put you in front of everything else. And so we can abuse this fact to put ourselves in front of things by rotating, and then rotate back, and it basically teleports us across the screen. So here we have our companion Dot, who's definitely not Navi, telling us what to do. Oh. There we go.
That was a surprising oh. Did something happen that normally doesn't?
Yes, I actually forgot to get the first cube. Normally you'll get that cube when you load in. But it's a cube that you get for entering a specific code of button combinations on your controller. And most of the anti-cubes are something like that. And so that code you find actually by looking at the achievements of the game. It just gives you the name of the achievement is the code that you're supposed to input. And normally you'll do that on the screen when you're loading into the game. But I forgot. But you can just do that wherever. It's not a big deal. So yeah, if I ever just stop talking and then like the world is shifting funny and then I move a little randomly, that's just inputting a code to get one of these anti-cubes. So now that we've gotten pretty much everything we can get out of this village, we're gonna head out. You'll notice I've died a couple times. Luckily, this game is very forgiving with deaths. It just puts you back exactly where you dropped from or jumped from. And there's actually a couple places where it's actually better to die because the alternative is landing in water. And if you land in water, then you have to climb all the way back up the tower again. So, the main point, again, of this game is to collect the cubes, and there are 64 total cubes that we need to collect. And the way you progress through the game is collecting enough cubes to open the various doors that you just saw in that room. This, I think one of my favorite things about running this game is definitely the soundtrack. It's got one of the best soundtracks of a video game, in my opinion. Now, in this room, we're going to do a thing called perspective teleports, and basically what that is going to is we're going to use the game's tendency to put me in front of objects to kind of teleport to the next platform without actually doing the platforming. The puzzle here involves the number system of the game, which is another thing that I really love about this game. There is a detailed number system, letter system, and set of symbols that map to controller inputs, all of which are used to solve various puzzles in the game. There the numbers were written on the side of the bell, and you have to hit each side a certain number of times. So here we're going to do some more of the perspective teleports where I just shift left and then shift right real quick, and in doing that the game puts me on the other side of the giant platform and skips across real quickly. You'll notice some shenanigans with positioning in this room, as far as like the blocks and when I throw them. rooms like this are very complex because they care both about your X position and your Y position, if that makes sense, going back to math. And that just kind of breaks the game's code sometimes.
These shenanigans are my absolute favorite, and that room was purple, so it was like perfect.
Not a lot to talk about here. Just some platforming. So if you want to go ahead and if there's any donations.
Sure, I'll actually read a little bit about our goals and what we're trying to achieve here. So the marathon's goal for the 36 hours is to raise $5,000 for the Children's Miracle Network, and that's actually representative of a 1/10 of the team's goal for 2019, which is $50,000. So we are sitting right around or just below $1,300, and we're only a few hours into the marathon, so that's absolutely great. I'm super confident that we're gonna get that goal, so that's super exciting.
Yeah, that's great. So this room is a lot more perspective teleports, and basically just using them to hop across and then onto the backside of these large flat platforms. Now we're gonna do basically, I think this is the only time, but we death warp essentially. If you land in front of a door and you open the door and press up at the same time as you would die, it lets you go through the door anyways. Alright, so here's some black holes. This is not the worst place they can spawn. They appear randomly on a level, although they always appear in the same spot on that level. And on some levels, it's not a big deal. On some levels, you actually have to just like go back through the door and hope that they despawn. In testing earlier, I had a level where I had to run back through the door and out again about 10 times before they would despawn. So hopefully that won't happen. But we're past, I think, the worst levels. Yeah, anytime you hear that sound in the background, I've just gotten a cube somewhere using one of those aforementioned puzzle solutions. So coming up is one of my favorite rooms, but unfortunately I can't really talk through it. It is entirely made up of audio cues, and so I'm gonna have to focus and not mess it up. Luckily, it's one of the best songs in the game, so I'll just let you listen to it. Alright, unfortunately we didn't make fast cycle there, but should still be fine.
The music in this game is so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's by Disaster Piece, and it is all on Spotify. It has infected all of my playlists. Alright, so that's that room. Now we take this warp gate back to the central world. We spend most of our time in this central area, kind of branching out and then taking warp gates back. We only very briefly go into the alternate universes, parallel universes. Not really sure, honestly. There's basically different versions of the same town from a bunch of different time periods. Also, I saw someone mentioning they wanted to learn this in chat. I played this game casually for a while, and when I wanted to go learn it, I found TGH's run of this, and he actually did a video teaching you how to do the speedrun. It's super easy to follow. It's very informative, teaches you all the good tricks and the route. Basically, I just played along with the video like 2 or 3 times, and then that was it. You get the rundown pretty easily. So yeah, shout out to TGH for that great video. He's the current world record holder with a 26:54, which is insane.
Very cool. I just want to plug here real quick that the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Zeromus Sprite Bid War, that Sonic Series Zeromus Sprite just took the lead over Deltarune. So if you would like to see that Deltarune Zeromus Sprite, donations, guys.
So this is just a platforming. One thing about the vines, though, climbing in this game is probably my least favorite mechanic, because as soon as you hold up in front of vines or a ladder, it will grab onto them, and so if you want to go fast, you can't just climb. You have to jump and then climb, and then jump and then climb.
So
and
instead
we
of repelling
miss.
down the wall, you're repelling up the wall.
Yeah, that's basically it. Thankfully, we don't have to rappel down, though, because we've got this nice warp gate. Alright, so once again, we've got some more black holes, but they will not be a problem because we're not even going over there. We're going to go into the forest. This is another one of my favorite areas, just some very chill music. Do a little perspective teleport to jump over here faster, and then grab the cube. So that cube is actually one of the... Oh man, I should have had a talk to the owl donation incentive. The owl there on the tree will actually talk to you. It's one of 4 in the game that does so, although they don't really solve any puzzle. It's just one of the cute things that goes into this game. But yeah, that cube there, you actually can only legitimately, without cheat sheets, obtain it post game after you get a pair of glasses that let you stand on a pillar, or stand in anywhere and see. They let you go into first person mode, and then the solution to the puzzle is actually written on the ground in first person mode. So you noticed we were hopping up some invisible platforms there. Those are displayed on a treasure map basically the way that they do it is the map will show an outline of the normal blocks, and then we'll show you where the invisible blocks should be. And so you just use that to figure out where the invisible blocks are, and then you have to rotate the world in a very specific direction in order to actually stand on them. And if you rotate if it's not in that direction, you just fall off of them. Here we've got another one of the block puzzles. Just manipulating some blocks around. Good, it didn't. Yes, okay. The blocks in this game are very finicky. They don't like to behave, and oftentimes they will just randomly float, much like Minecraft blocks do, until you interact with them or put a block next to them. So it's kind of a lot like Minecraft in that sense. Let's see, what's up next? Alright, so here is the first of the otherworldly cities that we end up seeing. This is a kind of rundown future version of it. And while that's going, so we picked up a map out of that treasure chest a couple screens back, and that map has a QR code on it. If you scan the QR code, it gives you the solution to a puzzle that you can then input anywhere. But we do actually have to pick up the map in order to unlock the ability to solve the puzzle. This room, for some reason, will not let you solve it the first time you walk in, so we have to walk into the room, walk out of the room, walk back in. And this room coming up is actually the longest puzzle. It is 16 inputs. There we go. You actually have to put this together across several different rooms in the game.
That was incredibly quick. I feel like that almost throne room was just like spinning back and forth and back and forth. That was crazy.
Yeah, so normally what you're supposed to do here is crank this all the way up, and then you've got a full, I think it's, I don't actually know how many seconds it is, but you crank that all the way up, and then you have plenty of time to climb the vines, but we're going to go fast and we're not going to bother about that. Although I might not make this one. Got it. So this next room coming up is the telescope room, and it has a lot of cool stuff in it, but unfortunately we skip past all the cool stuff, grab the cube, and get out. Let's see, where's that? Alright, so we're going to grab that anti-cube and get out, but there's also one of 3 super secret heart cubes. They don't show up anywhere in the game's set of stuff for you to collect. There's basically no hint towards it. And the 3 heart cubes are the 3 hardest puzzles in the game. That one is technically the easiest. The solution to it involves 2 tiny blinking red dots that you can see when you look through the telescope. And those blinking red dots spell out some binary that you then translate into the solution. This room is actually interesting because, give me a second here. This large structure is actually one of the solutions to the puzzles. if you stand next to it and give it button inputs, it will display the symbol that represents that button input, and then you can take those symbols and use it to read all of the puzzle solutions. Yeah, TK, I did the same thing when I was playing through it, and then so I was playing through this, and my friends were like tracking my progress, but I didn't want any help. But like when I figured that one out, they were like, "How did you figure that one out?" And I was like, "Oh, it just means left and right." And they were like, "No, that's not it, but close." It's funny because I feel like there must have been a sequence. There must be a sequence that you can come up with that wouldn't have the like left right. It basically wouldn't overlap the solution, but. So this is one of the rooms where we really take advantage of how the game positions you in front of everything at all times. So what we're gonna do is after we get out of here, there's this really long pier, and we definitely don't want to walk across the entire pier. So what we're going to do is just hop onto the end of the pier. So we rotate the world. Oh, wait, not quite. Not quite yet. Gotta grab this golden cube first. Oh, shoot. There we go. All right, so we rotate so that we can see the end of the pier, hop onto the end of the pier, and now we're on the other side of the room. And then to get back from here, we'll hop back on the pier, grab the ledge above the door, and suddenly we're in front of the door, just like that. This next room has a fast cycle, where if you go fast enough, you can climb all the way up this ladder in one go. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, no, I didn't get it. Oh, I almost got it. I was close. Yeah, basically, if you don't get it, you just have to wait till it rotates, and it's not that much time lost, but in a 30-minute speed run, every second counts. Let's see. So in this next room, we've got some more of that perspective. It's not necessarily a perspective teleport, but we abuse where the game puts us in order to jump over to that ladder, hopefully. But it is a very tight jump. There, nice. Second try is pretty good. And then we've got more of these invisible puzzles, or invisible platforms, where you just have to know where they are, unless you've got the map.
It literally just looks like you're randomly jumping in the middle of nothing.
Yep. So here we're gonna open that door because we need to go in that next. But first, we're gonna take a detour real quick to one of, I think, the prettiest areas. Unfortunately, we only hop in here for a quick second, grab a cube, and get out. You'll notice the counter on the right side of the screen. We've got 30 cubes at this point. We've actually got 30 cubes and 7 qubits, which is the little mini cubes. So we're going to grab the cube from this classroom, and then we'll be in the final area, grab 1 qubit, and then head to the end of the run.
Okay, this is really super cool. It looks like there's like neon lights. That's really awesome.
Yeah, this is the like future zoo kind of area. Let's see. No? What did I... There we go. Okay, I don't know why that took so long. This is actually one of the places where it tells you how to read the obelisks using the information that you got from the Rosetta Stone. Yeah, it's a very good aesthetic, very good ambiance with the rain in the background, and unfortunately we don't really spend a lot of time there. But now we'll be getting into the final, not quite the final world, the final main world. We do go to the moon before the game is over, but yeah, we've finally found this civilization kind of in the prime of its existence. And so we just hop down here, get this cube. Oh crap, we talked to the villager. I always, so because of where Dot decides to talk to you, there is a good chance you end up, if you mash through it too fast, talking to the villager. And the villagers are very nice, they're very good people, but we don't want to talk to them, we want to go fast. Alright, so if I step up here, we activate this Stargate, and then we have to wait for this long animation. So if there's any donations or anything else you want to say?
Absolutely. So we did get a $20 donation from Chaos Knight stating chill music for chill speedrun, all for a good cause. So that puts us over the $1,300 mark. So thank you so much for
Woohoo.
that. Yeah, super exciting. And then, yeah, just wanted to say if you enjoy playing video games on Twitch, and if you like helping out the sick kids and ever feel a little bit fuzzy, so if you said yes to any and all of these things, you might be perfect fit for the Extra Life team. So if you're interested in joining, click on the Join the Team button in the graphic below the stream window, or type !join in the chat.
Awesome, thanks. So yeah, as you can see, we went through the Stargate, and now we are on the moon. The moon has low gravity, and as everybody knows, in low gravity, you obviously move in slow motion. So it's a very slow screen. And the main mechanic in this screen is we are going to want to avoid grabbing ledges if at all possible, because it is very slow to get up from ledges. Alright, we've missed most of the ledges so far, so that's pretty good. Oop, almost hit that one. So yeah, and then this is basically the end of the run. We've collected all the cubes, and that's all with an asterisk because we've only gotten halfway. But it's enough to get us here, and that gets us to the credits. So we just climb up these stairs, and we face the final boss, the rotating door. This has killed at least 3 of my runs that were on PB pace, because if you miss the door, you have to rotate, and rotating is one of the slowest things in this game. But yeah, now we just watch a cutscene of the cubes being put together, and then we get to crash the game again, because we didn't actually collect all 64 cubes. We only got about halfway. So yeah, here we just wait for it to crash the game again, and then we wake up in our bedroom once again, and time will be as soon as I exit the bedroom.
Oh, and there's the game crash.
Yep. It's very cute. It's one of those kind of just like meta things that they do. But yeah, just load into the room. All right, time. And now, the credit sequence is also very interesting. I don't know how much of it we'll get, but you basically shrink until you're just a Fez, and then it gets very abstract from there. But yeah, that's the game.
Super cute.